There you go. All right. So congratulations, you've done the reverse sweep. Just quickly sum up how you feel after that.
I mean, obviously, of course, it feels good to remain in the tournament, make it through the legend stage. Obviously, it's a huge goal. Last CSGO major, we don't want to throw it away, so I'm glad that we're able to bounce back. We kept composure, talked about our previous mistakes in our previous games, and we're able to bounce back.
Yeah, you really looked like a completely different team yesterday and today compared to the first couple of days. What changed for you to so quickly flip your floor?
I mean, obviously, I think it has a lot to do with putting our backs against the wall, going down 0-2. I think that also, struck a lot of fear into people's nerves and everything like that. It's like, all right, this could potentially be like our last game at the last CSGO major. It's like, we really need to bounce back and all that, So for us to go 0-3, I think it would have been really bad. I would have felt, it would have felt like shit for sure for myself, my teammates, and my organization. So, yeah, I'm just super happy that we're able to bounce back. But yeah, just after our games, always talked about what went wrong, and no one's trying to hide anything. We're all very open that we need to be honest with ourselves and say, hey, we're not really playing our best Counter Strike. If we want to win the major here, we need to be even better.
Yeah, I spoke to a Liege after the Fluxo game. He said that was really important, just settling the nerves. Do you think that was maybe why you couldn't quite close out the first couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's like in the first game, like I played terrible. I mean, like ended like the first half like 1-13. I like TK'd and went 0-13. So the first game, I definitely didn't show my A game, which was really disappointing. I felt bad to let my teammates down and all that. And then in the Forza game, I believe that we were able to come back. We did make the right adjustments and all that. It was just small margin of errors that ultimately made us falter in the end. Losing 16-14. But yeah, overall, everybody's happy. We're excited to still remain in the tournament and go into the legend stage. So yeah, we just got to see what happens there.
Yeah, and I didn't want to remind you of it, but since you brought it up yourself, in that first game, you're such a consistent player usually. Was there anything like particularly about that game, maybe like your setup didn't feel right, or was it just an off game?
I just felt like it was like an off game. It's like it's very unfortunate for it to just start out the major and just like I'm just seeing myself 0-13 on the scoreboard. I'm like, no, man, I can't be doing it like this. But yeah, no, I mean, I mean, there was obviously just like mistakes that I made, but I think as a team we're uncomfortable at times, and I think that maybe threw some players off, especially myself. But individually, I didn't really find my form in that game, and yeah, I really let my teammates down. And usually when I perform badly, I'm really hard on myself. I took a good look in the mirror and understand, hey, you need to do better, or else like you're not really bringing much to the table. So I just need to do better, and that's always how I think. And yeah, I think I just have a strong mindset when it comes to those things, and I feel like that's a big reason why I'm consistent.
Yeah, do you think that strong mindset is also why you're now Liquid's actually highest rated player at the event?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's good to hear. Yeah, of course, with Merrick's, Yakindar and Nitro and Damien, like all the other players, they bring a lot to the table in terms of strategies and understanding what they want to do, and I just play the spots that I need to play, and I just need to get my kills. If I'm not really getting my kills, I'm not doing my job. So that's ultimately me failing at my job. So I take that to heart. I take it really hard on myself, and yeah, it's like you got to be honest with yourself if you want to be the best, and fix your problems. You can't just be delusional about them or just swipe them under the rug, So yeah, I'm always going to be honest, always going to do my job, and make sure that I'm doing it to the best of my abilities.
Yeah, and moving on to this match, it looked fairly comfortable. You were always in control, I feel. Does this give you confidence moving forward, especially into the legend stage? That like, no, you actually are a good team. You can progress.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, like I said, we started down 0-2, and for us to come back, it's like, yeah, we did beat one decent, good South American team in terms of Fluxo, and then we had to beat our fellow North Americans in complexity, and then here we beat an Oceanic team, the Australians. So, it's not like we really came back and beat the greatest of teams, but at the same time, we got to at least say, hey, like we won the matches that we needed to win. We faltered and we started slow. We just need to just come back and just show that what we showed here and bring it into the next stage and just be more confident, just be more ready, more prepared, and yeah, just to make sure, because versus those other top European teams, it's not going to be so easy. So we just need to make sure that we're on our A game when we show up into the next stage.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that actually. You didn't have to beat an EU team here. Is there any kind of worry about the step up in competition as you move into the legend stage?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, yeah, if you're asking me that, it's like, do we necessarily deserve to be in the legends? I mean, we did play the games and beat the opponents that we needed to beat to be here. But if you look at the teams on paper, maybe we don't deserve to be here, So ultimately, again, we kind of gave ourselves a second life. So we need to make sure that we go into the legend stage playing against these top teams, that we really show up and play our A game, or else, it's not going to look too good for us. So we just need to, make sure we're getting back into form.
Yeah, and as you said, maybe having your backs to the wall raised your form. Now you're moving up against higher competition. Is that also going to be able to raise your form because you're playing better competition?
Yeah, I mean, I think with our team, a lot of times sometimes when we're playing teams that we feel like are a lower level to us, and their play styles are definitely a lot more different because maybe we don't really play against them too much. We don't really understand in the moment like how to correct ourselves and make the right plays and to adapt onto what's going on, you know. But when it comes to the top European teams, I feel like we have a better understanding, and we also just have like a similar style, and like it's a style that obviously we've all played for years because a lot of our players have been on the top playing against these European teams for years. So we kind of understand the play style and the way of playing a little bit better maybe, and I think if we're a little bit more comfortable playing those teams, I believe we are in some sense because these younger teams, these teams we don't know too much about, they can kind of surprise you and catch you off guard with some things that you might not expect. So with playing in the Tier 1 scene, you expect more things, we know more things. So we just got to make sure that, our fundamentals, our teamwork and everything is just better than theirs, and we just have better mind games, and in the end, we just need to step up and just make sure that we can compete versus these top teams.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Pain and Complexity went out. This means that we're not going to get an extra spot for the Americas in the next major. Do you think that it was maybe the experience that was the difference between your team and the other two teams, why you made it and they didn't?
You could say somewhat maybe experience, but then again, you could also say like, hey, like Liquid got a lucky draw. Like they got to play, the Oceanic team, they got to play the South American, they got to play their fellow North American team, whereas, Payne had to play Monty, a European team with a different style, and they're a younger European team, so they're probably going to do a lot more strange stuff. And then at the end of the day, they're also European, so they know how to play against the high competition, so it could catch you off guard. So, it could be luck of the draw for us. You could say that, of course, and. Yeah, but at the end of the day, yeah, like I said, we also beat the teams that we needed to beat, and I understand for Payne it might have been tough having their draw, but I know they played them close. I was watching the game, and they're very close. Payne's a very good team, so I believe in the future they'll be back.
Yeah, and lastly, what's the team's goal now you've made it to Legends? The goal, the expectation, can you make playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said again, last CS:GO major, we want to at least go out making playoffs. The last time I think I made playoffs was in 2019, I believe, in those majors. So it's been a long time. Hopefully, we can return to form and make playoffs and cement Liquid in the right place that they're supposed to be.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
Thank you, man.